Hey, what's up, guys? Coming to you with another review today, and this time it's going to be on the American tank destroyer T110E3. This is quite a great tank. I'm going to definitely do a video of it compared to the E4, which, as I am going to explain in this video, it is basically personal preference between the E3 and the E4, which I'll get into a little bit later. So I'm going to go ahead and start the review, guys, and hopefully you'll take into consideration trying to grind for this tank. So yeah, let's do a little history on this tank. Now, this tank, obviously, it was never in existence, was not used in wars. That would be pretty cool if it was. But basically, in 1954, a conference was held in Detroit, basically saying, yeah, we need some more tanks. You know, they had some other advanced projects, and the Chrysler Corporation wanted a tank that was based on the TS-31 chassis, which this does not have that, which is just the wargaming variant of it. But it didn't pass trials. I think there were a couple variants of this new prototype, which were in fact the E4 and the E3, but they never really passed like tests, and they ended up just getting scrapped, and the project was canceled. So that's a little bit of history on that. Now, the main review itself, I'm going to be comparing it not necessarily to the E4, because I already made a video review on that, guys. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll have that posted down in the description. So yeah. Basically, compared to the T95, in this, as you guys see, I went for the E4 first, which that was before it got nerfed, and I'll go over that in another video, but I crossed over from the T28 prototype to the T28, and this being during Times 5 weekend, as I'm sure you guys saw in the garage, I have like no crew skills on this tank. I basically played out the T28 and the T95 just to get the feel of how the tanks were, but I didn't really play too much games. I think I only played like 30 games in my T95, which is pretty sad because it was Times 5 weekend, and I ended up getting like 50k XP on this tank alone, so I just used the rest for free experience, which many people don't like to do, but since I really didn't want to deal with the T95 for that long, I just free experienced the E3, and obviously me coming from the T28 did not help me get any crew skills, or any of my crew basically up to where it should be. So right now I have the crew acceleration turned on, and I've got that good to go. So I'm going to be comparing, not necessarily the tanks itself, but I'm going to be comparing the guns. Now, the two guns are pretty much the same caliber. This is the T7 E2 is the one on the E3, and the T7 is on the T95. Now, being the E3, it has the better attributes of the gun, the T72, than the E4. So that'd be the one up on the right of accuracy, aim time, or the lower aim time, and the better fire rate. So compared to the T95 in a whole, the E3 is more compact. It's more mobile than the T95. That little 15, I think it's a 15 kilometers an hour difference, is a huge difference. It really gives you that ability to get up to the flank, get up and hold down that position, and it'll be that defensive tank that T95 would take forever to get to. Now, armor-wise, the E3 does suffer compared to the T95. Now, the T95 has that skirt armor, you know, kind of protects it from the arty, absorbs a lot of tracking shots, all that stuff. Now, the E3 does absorb a lot of no damage pens to the track, but that being said, I'll get to it in a little bit when I show you guys the tank itself and the weak spots. It does have those mud flaps where autoloaders such as like the Batchat or 1390 are going to be trying to pen, and they are pen zones, so you will track the E3, and it will get damage done to it also, as opposed to just a no damage pen track. Now, yeah, also compared to the T95, like I said, its armor is not as it's not as good, but it just has more weak spots. It's concentrated well, but it's just the way it is laid out and the way the armor, it says 305, but in reality it really isn't. So back to the guns. The E3 has the more damage than the T95, and I know this is a tier jump, but really should be pretty much compared, in my opinion. The more pen, better fire rate, and same aim time. So as you guys can see, it's basically a T95 gun upgraded. Now, accuracy is way better, damage is better, DPM is better, penetration's better. Only thing that's really the same is the aim time and the weight. So that being said, the T95 is basically a precursor to the E3 as it should be, but they play a little bit differently. They still have that amazing frontal armor, but the T95 is way more of a defensive tank. Now the E3 still is a really big defensive tank compared to the E4, but in my opinion, in my opinion, like I said, the E3 and the E4, which one you like better is preference. I like the E3 better, even though I got the E4 first, and it's basically just because of the nerf of the E4. Just gave it too much bad, you know, attributes and all that. So getting into weak spots, the E3 has an amazing cupola. Now, many people argue that and say, oh yeah, it's penned easily, but the cupola, I believe, has, this may not be the right number, but the front of the cupola, I know, like where the machine gun is, that, although flat, has about, I think it's 200 something armor now. I think it's like 220, something like that. Now, in my gameplay that I'll show you guys next, I do bounce a shot on the side of the cupola from an FV4502, and that was not at an angle. He was side scraping me, and it was right. He just bounced it. So the cupola is actually kind of strong on this, but from the back, that's going to be penned easily. Artie also hits that cupola pretty big weak spot for them. Now, other weak spots, as you guys can see, it has a little gunner port right here, and also the ports right there. Now, side, like I said, the side skirts are basically, there are none, so it has no skirt armor. Artie's going to be taking out your tracks, and also the back of the engine is also a downside. Now, I see that this thing catches fire quite a lot when hit with scouts in the back. Also, engine gets hurt a lot when just penned right there, almost every time. Now, also, with this big cannon and the huge ass mantlet, what happens is, a lot of times people hit you with, like, gold shells and stuff. It'll get no damage pens on the mantlet, but it'll hurt your gun, or traverse, or all that stuff. Now, also, Artie, if they do splash you, they might do some damage, but, like, say, like 40 damage, but it'll damage the gun and take out the gun. Now, that always pisses me off, but other than that, this tank is very good. Now, in a battle set, the mindset of the battle, how to play this tank, I basically use it as a defensive tank, you know, hold that flank, don't really push up too much unless you got people in front of you. Basically plays the same way as any other TD would go. It does have that really accurate gun for tier 10 tank destroyer, being 0.36 accuracy, and that's very accurate for sniping. Now, as you guys see, I don't run any gold rounds at the moment. I only use that for clan wars. So in pubs, I just run all you know, standard and a couple HE shells in case I need it. Now, as consumables go, just the standard, you know, repair kit, first aid kit, fire extinguisher. And yeah, I actually think I took off my vent and put it on the E4 as I sold it. I sold the vents and bought the Sherman Jumbo because I'm going down that line now. But other than that, during the gameplay, I'm definitely going to take it back off the E4, put it back on here. Once I get enough credits, I'm going to buy another one. So yeah, as you guys see, like I said before, I don't have any crew skills. And I know that sounds stupid, but yeah, I'm just going to have to deal with it. I'm grinding those crew skills up. So yeah, hope you guys like this review so far. Tried my best just to compare it to the T95, kind of give you like the gist of it and all my opinions on it. So yeah, stay tuned for the gameplay, guys. Alright guys, what's up? Now this is going to be pretty much the gameplay for this video. Going to be a standard battle on Wide Park. Got quite a lot of tier 10s and some good clans this game, a lot of platoons, and but it turns out pretty much a blowout from our team to theirs. So let's get this started, guys. And as I said before, E3 plays pretty much defensively. I'll show you guys at the beginning of the game how I play it defensively. And I'm pretty stoked that this was on Wide Park because it's a great map to showcase this tank on. So let me just fast forward a little bit, get to the main part of the battle. Now, getting into this battle, obviously Artie is not going to be much of an issue on this particular map, as it's really small. People just crest the hill, spot the Artie right away, and it's not going to be too bad for a tank destroyer. Now, on the other hand, Wide Park was my showcase for the E4 too, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Only difference is this is just a solo pub battle, whereas that was on, I
think. It was a tank company, actually, that we did for an R-wall. Now, at the beginning, as you guys see, I'm just going to hide my hole a little bit. Show how this tank can bounce multiple shots. And I actually get quite a few bounces here. Not even going to attempt to shoot that mouse, because he's at such a great angle, and he's in a pretty good corner. Like, if I'll be able to pen him. Now, as you guys see that, I just bounced a shot right at the beginning. Artie's missing. It's all good. This tank's pretty much steel wall machine. Bounce another shot, and that 113 right there ends up having a pretty good game. So I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward this little bit, because it's just boring, you know, it's just a defensive tank. Now that mouse comes out, I'm not going to shoot him again, because he look at that, he's got a great angle. Props to that player, he's pretty good. What ends up happening, really, is, I'll tell you this right now. Tiger 2 comes out of nowhere right there, and look at this damage roll. Boom, 1005. I don't even know what the hell he was thinking. He just gets, like, destroyed within, like, 20 seconds of just popping over that edge right there. Even 100 gets him. Now, this type ends up coming up over, and I don't know what to do with him, because I couldn't get a good shot on him. Now, as this game progresses, like I said, stay defensively. This mouse ends up hitting me, right as I come around. Now, I could afford to take that hit. Good job to him. But, you know, I really shouldn't have. I should have waited till he fired or something. I decided to go more offensively. Now, getting back to how to play this, you want to start off defensively, like I said, go a little bit on the offensive, especially on these maps where you basically afford to go close quarters. Now, that T57 heavy just output a whole mag on the other T57 heavy. And I know he's on reload, he ends up getting killed. I just check a little bit to see if anyone's aiming at me. Now, what ends up happening is this type kind of draws my attention, but then I see that mouse is, you know, gonna stop me from going to get that type. Now, I just sit here with the E100, kind of play peekaboo a little bit, and this T69 decides to kind of crest over in a little bit. That T57 ends up getting shot. I'm trying to focus fire him, can't really get a shot on him. But here's the part where the T69 just not even knows what he's doing. He has no map awareness. He just decides to give me the back of his turret, and I'll just take him out. So I try and tell this E100 that I'm going to take point, but he ends up doing a really good job of just going on his own and not really taking my advice. But he ends up taking me out, which is pretty cool. And that was definitely a gold round right to his face, because E100 with the stock gun, not so much a great tank. So, yeah, as this game progresses, we just come right over. They're basically sitting ducks. They got nothing they can do. Now, E100, another hit on the T54E1 over there. This, M100 does a good job. He knows I'm there. He just runs away. And I just take a quick pot shot of this T54 and get him. And, yeah, so, getting back to the, to the main part of like how I'm going to compare this to the E4 and E3 in the next video. I don't know if I said that already, but I'll show you guys towards the end here of how easily the E3 pens the E4 in terms of whether it be at range, whether it just be close quarters, like what it is. If you're that's where it comes into personal preference. In my opinion, I like the E3 better just because it can take out the E4 with ease. Depending on how you are. So I just take a pot shot to right in the turret. That's where the nerf on the E4 really kills it. But like 1v1, in my opinion, if you're a competent player, E3 would definitely kill the E4 with ease. But obviously, in terms of like clan wars and situational play, I don't really know which one is better. E4 can roll with heavies. I know that it's more of like a support. Heavy with a huge ass gun, that's how I play it. But the E3 is very defensive in terms of strategies and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's basically the main part of the game. Hope you guys like this gameplay, and I'll go over the after battle report right now. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so this is the after battle report. As you guys know, it was on Wide Park. It was basically a blowout. So, overall stats, I fired 4 shots, got 4 direct hits, 4 penetrations, and did 2,724 damage. Now, as being a tier 10 tank destroyer, that's a pretty decent amount of damage think I got on that Tiger 2. I think I got a 4-digit roll, which is like 1,000 something. I think it was 1,004 actually. Now, as you guys can see, I actually got some damage upon detection. Don't know how the hell that happened. And as I only took one hit from that mouse and used the first aid kit on my loader, I made 18,651 credits. And that's because I didn't really have to pay anything to repair. Which is weird because the ammunition obviously is going to be a lot for a tank destroyer, and that was more than the repair, so that's pretty good. Now, looking on the stats, this 113 did pretty good. So I was 4th from the top on our team. Nah, not bad. Overall, as you guys can see, this tank destroyer is pretty much a beast. Its front armor, as you guys saw when I was behind that little cover in Wide Park, towards the start of the game, hiding my hole, I just bounced so many shots, especially from the mouse. And there was something undetected back there, which I didn't even know what was bouncing me. Now, with the 2 kills I got, that was pretty good. Killed that T69, and also, what else did I kill? I think I killed the T54E1, I think it's called. So yeah, so as you guys can see, the stats on this tank are pretty decent. Ignore my overall win rate, because I don't want to make excuses, but I've only played 5,000 games, and I was basically just a solo pubber until I joined Narwhal and Reddit and all that good stuff. So my win rates and efficiency has been steadily creeping up. My efficiency and win 6 are pretty bad right now, actually pitiful, but they were at like 800 before. They're steadily rising. So my E3, 58% win rate after 100 games, pretty decent. 83% hit ratio, that's really good, because it's a really accurate tier 10 tank destroyer, actually. I think it's the second most accurate one. Or, no, third, because 268, and then Jagdpanzer, and then this. So, effort value is pretty good in it. Got 2,052 damage per game. That's a little bit above average, which is stated right there. And my destroyed ratio is 0.05, better than the average. So I mean, that's decent. I do pretty well in this tank. I love it. And yeah, so stay tuned for the next part of the video, guys. But before I say that, I'm just gonna give you guys a little hint on basically how I've already said this, but how I played this tank, especially as you saw in Wide Park. I started off defensively, kind of hid my hole a little bit, tried to shoot the mouse, didn't really get a good shot at him, and then the Tiger 2 came out, bum rushing, no clue why the hell he did that. Got a 4-digit roll on him, and he was taken out. And then I moved up with the T57 Heavy, and I think we had a Conqueror there, so I just moved up there and then ended up moving up with the E100. So you start off defensively. As the game goes on, you know, you could go more offensively, but don't like crest hills, don't pop around corners, you'll get tracked and get owned. Especially Artie is not really that big of a deal on Wide Park, as they can't really do anything, they get spotted right away. So other than that, there's not really, like, it's not too hard of a tank to play. Just play it like any other tank destroyer. And yeah, the next clip I'm going to be showing you guys how to basically deal with a medium or a couple of tanks that are kind of trying to circle you and side scrape you and everything. So hopefully the next part of the video will actually show a little bit of a tutorial on how to play this tank a little bit better in terms of when things aren't going too well. So yeah, stay tuned, guys, and I'll get this clip rolling right now.
Hey guys, in this scene right here, I'm going to be showing you how to basically attempt to take out a medium or an oncoming light, whatever that's coming at you, while in the T110E3. So this being on El Haloof is quite a good little bit of gameplay. I think I got 1 kill, and I think I end up doing like 4,000 damage this game. I'm just, you know, doing a little clip of when it's basically towards the end of the game. So, yeah, what's going to happen is I'm going to end up basically luring out an FV4502, as you see right there. I'm slowly turning, and he knows that I'm looking at him. He gets scared. He just backs up. And as you guys know, the E3, as I said before, does not have that great of elevation. As you guys see right there, it's actually quite pitiful compared to the E4, which has way better. But the E3 does have better gun depression, as the gun is right in the superstructure of the tank, as opposed to the turret in the E4. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and give him like a little angle here and back up, but what I soon notice is, since I don't have him spotted now, is that he's going around. And what ends up happening is he gets an ISU to help out, who hits me for I think like 400, because he hits me in the gun mantlet with an HE shell with the BL-10, which I don't even get why the hell he was doing that, because you know, there's just players like that out there. So as you guys see, he's coming right here. I choose the focus fire of the ISU because he's got the bigger gun. But as I can say is that I knew my RD was good this game. Look how many kills they have, and they end up just blowing the ISU right out of the friggin' game. So as you see, this FV, what you want to do is you basically want to get up against the wall and try and angle towards them as much as you can as they come towards you. Now he's going to end up bouncing a couple times. Now as you guys see here, he bounces my cupola, which is, as I said before, the cupola on this tank, it either got patched or something. It's really durable now. So as you guys see, I end up luring him out. My arty actually ends up tracking me, but it doesn't matter. He tracked him too, got the splash. He's saying you're welcome, and then he also said he hit me. So as you guys can see, it's quite it's not that hard to get away with taking out a medium or light who's just bum rushing. You know, you just got to get up against something. Don't let them face hug you. Try and track them before they can get to you. And you know, to just see how it plays out. So that's basically just a little clip of me being able to live out the game and not be able to get myself killed. Now, yeah, I got penned right in the top there by Artie. It's just a little ADD moment. So, yeah, hope you guys can really take this into consideration and try and use this gameplay as a little guide towards how to play this tank.